Warning, this video may contain content that may not be suitable for children or anyone else that is easily offended. Strong language, graphic content, nudity, bad jokes, and a possible idiot, aka myself, may be featured in the following clip. Viewer discretion is advised. Channel is not responsible for any damages that you receive watching this video.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Zems, and welcome to 3 Reasons Why You Shouldn't Have Kids. 3 disturbing true parent horror stories by Mr.nightmare. If you guys haven't already, be sure you swoop down to the description box, click on that link, go watch the videos in entirety while we pause it and stop it and talking through the whole thing. Thank you guys so much for the great support, man. Keep doing what you guys are doing, and the videos will keep coming. But for now, let's get it. Story 1 by Alicia Pearson.
I'm a single mother of 2.
Uh-oh.
My ex-husband and I take turns watching the kids month to month.
That's
My
fair.
son Luke is 15 and my daughter Melissa is 10. This happened just a few months ago. I did some late-night grocery shopping after work. Luke had texted me earlier that he was going out with his friends. It was a Friday night. I wasn't thrilled with him leaving Melissa alone, but 10 is the age a lot of parents are more comfortable leaving their kids alone.
That's
And
fair.
he knows I can't expect him to babysit her anymore. I got back to the house around 9 o'clock at night. I had to make 3 or 4 trips from the car to the house because of the amount of groceries I bought.
Let me tell you guys something. I am the king of carrying groceries. You ask anybody that knows me, bruh, I'll always make one trip. I don't care, bruh. I stack groceries from here to here. Sometimes here, bruh. I have groceries just like this coming up the stairs, bruh. Looking swollen like Mark Henry, bruh.
I always overdo it with the groceries on the months I get to watch the kids. And then on the months alone, I'm the complete opposite. When I finally finished putting all the groceries in the fridge and pantry, I went upstairs to greet Melissa.
That's the worst.
I heard the shower running in the bathroom, so I went back downstairs to lay down in the living room and put on my show on Netflix. I was halfway through an episode, and I still hadn't heard Melissa leave the bathroom upstairs.
Red flag.
Long hot showers aren't free, and I never condone my kids wasting water. I went
Facts.
up there to knock on the door and tell her to get out of the shower soon. I went back downstairs to resume my show. Only for about 5 minutes, though. Melissa was still in the shower, so I went back up there again and knocked louder. This time I waited for her to acknowledge me, but when she didn't, I continued to knock louder and yell her name angrily.
Uh-oh.
It took me a little bit to notice through the bottom crack of the door that the light was off in the bathroom. Tried the doorknob, but the door was locked. The locks on my doors inside the house are easily unlocked with a fingernail, though.
I was about to say,
so
kick
I had
it.
to force my way in, now growing concerned. As the door opened, I yelled into the room at my daughter, at that moment feeling more furious than anything. I flicked the light switch up and went over to the tub.
Please
Yanked
don't.
the curtain half open, honestly not knowing what to expect. But not in my worst nightmare would I have expected to find some 50-something-year-old withered-looking woman laying flat in the bathtub with the shower spraying water onto her. I screamed so loud and long until I lost the ability to scream for a few seconds. I had my back pressed up to the mirror. Everything on the counter had fallen to the ground. I felt an unexplainable sense of shock and horror. The woman stood up in the tub, looking at me, her hair and clothes obviously drenched.
Fuck.
I slammed the bathroom door shut and screamed Melissa's name. I checked her room first thing, and I found her hiding under the covers. I grabbed her and tugged her out of the room.
Like, you don't hear me calling you? I could have got clapped. You could have at least told me somebody was in the restroom. That kid would get pieced up, bruh. Like Neji from Naruto. Telling you, bruh. I'd have been mad. I'd have been more mad that she wasted my water. Boy, when that water bill come in, I'm telling the police department or whoever it is, make sure she paying. She putting half on that water bill, bruh. 100%. She don't even have to go to jail. Just make sure I get my half of that water bill before she gets put in cuffs.
I passed the bathroom door towards the stairs. That woman was standing in the doorway of the bathroom. Everything about her looked like a zombie.
Butt
Her
naked.
eyes, her movement. I made sure to grab my cell phone before locking the 2 of us in the spare room in the basement.
Fight!
I called the police. As I waited for the police to come, Melissa told me she thought it was me who came into the house. But when she saw some random, scary-looking woman walking up the stairs, she ran to her room to hide. Luke left the front door unlocked when he left. The police showed up in a timely manner. I talked to the police and told them exactly what Melissa told me. I described the woman's appearance, noting she was
Oh
also
my
soaked,
goodness.
and because of that I couldn't give a good description of her hair besides long and graying. This was all after making sure the woman was no longer in the house. Not under a bed, not in a closet, not behind a shower curtain. She simply left the house as easily as she entered. It's likely she was drugged out of her mind.
I
I've
hope
never
not.
seen someone who looked like they were literally lacking consciousness yet still
Yeah.
walking. I
Drugs.
don't even know if I would have been able to press any charges on her if she was found, which she wasn't. And don't you worry, I properly scolded and reprimanded Luke. Always remember to lock your doors.
Bro, you ain't catching no crackhead. I could have told you that. They're not about to catch that person, bro. You can't catch a drug addict, bro. They can't be caught. They're the fastest human beings on this planet, bro. I would encourage you the same boat to race a crackhead down 100 meters and see who wins. But yeah, man, like, that's why you should have kids give you phone numbers or something. You should have some kind of cameras. At least put some kind of footage or something inside the house so you can check on your kids every once in a while. You know what I'm saying? 10 years old. I think my mom used to leave us around the house, or my sister to watch us, like, she was like 12, 13. But she always said, lock the doors. Don't answer any phone calls. Like, my mom was just all that, bro. Close the blinds. Turn the lights off or turn the lights on if you only when you have to use them. Like, none of that stuff. Because if your parents' car not there, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be like, oh, she's not home, you know? So, yeah, all that stuff was collect. Even when the bill collectors called, bruh. Wrong number. She trained us on all that, bruh. 100%. Story 2. Christina.
This was over 15 years ago.
15?
We once went to this family resort in New York State.
Ooh.
We took our 2 kids who were 4 and 6 at the time. This focuses on our 6-year-old Michael Jr. We were on vacation around Easter time, so the resort had a bunch of fun little festivities set up for the kids.
Like what?
Easter egg hunts, Easter decorations during bingo, and someone walking around in a big Easter bunny costume. While we were in the dining hall one evening, the Easter bunny was walking around giving kids high fives. When he came over to our table, our 4-year-old Peter hid under the table crying, but Michael Jr. gave him the high five and wasn't afraid at all. The guy in the bunny suit walked away quickly, probably to get our son to stop crying. The next day there was an Easter egg hunt, which was in one of the fields by the kids' center of the resort. I watched the kids scrambling to collect eggs while my husband Mike was elsewhere. I'm not really sure what he was doing. The Easter bunny guy was walking around the field interacting with the kids. I noticed he knew to avoid Peter. Peter came running to me when the Easter bunny got near to him. He would do the same thing with Santa around the holidays. The guy in the bunny suit was interacting with Michael a lot. I found it kind of cute. I just didn't want Peter around him so that he wouldn't start crying again. So I brought him to the other side of the play area for a little while.
Peter is smart. Peter realizes these are not characters. These are grown men and women that's probably creepy and probably having fetish for little kids that are in costumes. That's why I don't have any pictures. If you can find one, I'd pay you $100. You cannot see it. Find me a picture. Maybe when I was a kid, because I couldn't have a choice, but now I've never took a picture with anybody in a costume. I don't care if it was Mickey, Goofy, Donald, the Easter Bunny. I don't even care if it was a mascot for damn NFL. Like, it's just, I just find it weird. Like, people like that kind of stuff. Like, you go to Disneyland, you take pictures, and that person might be a pervert or he's just super old and creepy. Like, you don't know. I just don't like that aspect of or costumes or mascots and stuff like that. I find it very creepy.
When it looked like the Easter bunny was gone, I walked him back to where Michael Jr. was last, but I couldn't see him. I started calling his name. Then another parent came up to me and asked if I was looking for a boy wearing a red sweater. I said yes, and she told me the guy in the Easter bunny costume walked him out of the field area in the direction of the parking lots. She told me this in a slightly concerned-sounding tone. I picked up Peter and ran in the direction that the woman pointed.
But you didn't stop him?
Faster than I ever could, while holding my son on top of it. Motherly instincts clearly kicking in, giving me an adrenaline boost.
Yep.
I saw the man in the Easter bunny costume holding my child's hand, approaching a black car. I screamed at the top of my lungs at him to get away from my son. Then I screamed Michael's name. They both turned to look at us, and the man let go of my son's hand. Michael ran over to me, not realizing at all the danger he was just in. The man in the costume said to me that he was trying to find his mom since he looked lost, but that was total BS. He wanted to get in his car with my 6-year-old son. I tried to yank the mask off of him, but he shoved me and yelled at me to piss off. Then he got in his car and drove away. I tried to remember his plate number, but he was gone too quickly. I called my husband on my old archaic cell phone, and I brought my kids to the front desk of the resort to meet him there. They said the man in the Easter bunny costume didn't work there. I was livid, yelling at the front desk workers the whole time, who were apparently aware of the man, yet didn't stop him or question him.
Lawsuit.
We threatened to sue the entire place. They ended up refunding us for our entire stay, which we gladly accepted. But I was mere seconds away from losing my kid forever.
Facts, you can't replace a kid. Man, please, you think I'm about to just get my money back and not seek further action because my son almost got kidnapped and probably sold into human trafficking or worse? Money back? Refund? Shit, I want the refund and some. You think you could just do whatever you want? No, baby. It don't work like that. Story 3 by Maria and James. Not just one, but the both of them.
We adopted our son Charlie at the age of 2.
Aw.
He's aware that he was adopted. We were honest with him about that ever since he started to learn to speak.
Don't get me wrong, I love adopted kids, you know what I'm saying? They need a place to go. Some kids are really good, some kids are really smart, you know what I'm saying? After watching The Orphan and some of these other movies with that disease that they make them look at, I don't do it. Like, I can't. It's a bad way. You never know, man. Some of these kids may be from serial killers. I don't know. I've seen so many shows for me personally. Don't get me wrong, you know, I'm not saying nothing's wrong. Me in particular, I don't mess with that kind of stuff. It's like Russian roulette. You can get a good one or you might get one that'll kill you when they get older. So I don't know.
We don't have any children of our own because my wife can't have kids. Somewhat recently, my wife and I started noticing very strange behavior with Charlie. And what motivated me to actually sit down and write this was something my wife and I still can't explain. There's an upstairs toy room for Charlie since there's 2 extra bedrooms in our house. He has a big toy closet in there, and the whole room has a bunch of toys like a Lego table, action figures, and such.
I see you.
For the duration of about a month, at different times we'd hear Charlie talking to himself. Not like role-playing talking in his play. We'd overhear him speaking as if he were talking to another person in the room.
Red flag.
The first time this happened, my wife wasn't home. But as I passed his playroom, I overheard him talking as if he had a friend in there.
Red flag
I
2.
swear to God, I actually walked in just to make sure he didn't actually have a friend in there. When I walked in, I saw him sitting at his Lego table with a couple of his WWE action figures on top of it. But he wasn't currently playing with any of them. He was just sitting there, blankly staring at me. I asked, "Who are you talking to?"
Oh, yeah.
He shrugged his shoulders. As weird as it was, I had to assume he was just playing.
Nope.
The next time something strange happened, it was a lot worse. This time my wife was at least home to witness it with me. We were in the kitchen, Charlie was in the backyard playing. We heard him laughing and talking suddenly, so my wife went to look out the window to see what he was doing. Then she called me over to look as well. What we saw was Charlie talking to thin air, as if he were talking to a person. It
See?
resembled him trying to show someone who wasn't there how to use the plastic sword in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
I expressed to my wife my concern. She said he may just have an imaginary friend. I told her I didn't know how I felt about that. She seemed to feel it was completely normal.
Hell no, it's not normal, bro. I hope you kept the receipt, because it's going back. He's going back, bruh. I don't care. Drop him off in front of the doorstep. Here's the receipt. Give me back. I got a 30-day warranty, bruh. He gotta go, bro. That's why I say I don't take kids from adoption, because you don't know who they came from, what they came from, who their parents are. They could have been meth heads or serial killers or gangmen. Like, you don't know, man. Like, I can't, bro. This is just too much pressure on me. And the doctor says nothing wrong with talking to yourself. It's when you answer yourself as then that's the problem. When you be like, "Hey, what you doing today?" You be like, "Shit, I don't know, nothing. Maybe go to the store." And that's when everybody's like, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes you're like, damn, if I carry the 7 over to, to 14 8 times, 7 8 squared. Like, you know what I'm saying? That kind of stuff. Then you can talk to yourself because you're thinking out loud. But if you respond to yourself, then yeah, you need to go to a doctor ASAP before you end up like poor Timmy here.
Fast forward to like the 3rd or 4th instance. It was 9 o'clock on a school night,
4
approaching
times.
Charlie's bedtime. He was in his playroom still. I was trying to be lenient with the bedtime and let him play for a few more minutes.
That's fair.
I heard Charlie laughing and talking to his imaginary friend again. I curiously had to take a peek into the room. As I opened Charlie's door, I heard his closet door shut. I looked at Charlie, standing up in the dead center of the room, with his toys scattered around him. I asked him who's in the closet, and something on the inside of it fell. It sounded like a big plastic toy.
Oh my God.
I asked one more time who's in the closet in a yell. He said George. I swung the door open, expecting one of his little friends in there. Maybe my wife let him have a playdate or sleepover without telling me. But the closet was empty besides his toys.
Hell no, man.
I picked Charlie up against his will and brought him to his room. I told him he was going to bed. Then I told my wife about the closet door closing on its own, and then the toy inside falling on its own. She thought I was messing with her at first, but then she saw I was serious. At night, I woke up to sounds from down the hall in Charlie's playroom. We sleep with the door open. I woke my wife and told her to follow me quietly.
Give me back up.
Tiptoed to the toy room. Charlie wasn't in there, but a distinct, loud clicking sound was coming from inside the toy closet. I opened it, showing bravery for my wife.
I'm about to boo-boo on
As I
myself.
did, the clicking stopped. We dug for any kind of electric toys that may have made that clicking sound. Nothing, though. I think that was the night I became a believer in the paranormal. The next morning, I woke to my wife's scream. She
Oh,
was holding our wedding photo. It was cracked right down the middle, not just the picture in the glass, but the frame too. Cracked perfectly down the middle, separating the two of us. We took Charlie and stayed with my mom for a week. Then, after a week, my wife and I returned to the house. We listed the house for sale, and after a few days of normalcy, we brought Charlie back to the house.
first of all, if Charlie's the problem, why the hell would you take Charlie to somebody else's house where he can bring the damn thing there too? Get rid of Charlie. It's not the house. You think he was outside too? The thing is following Charlie. Don't take Charlie to somebody else's house.
But we moved out a month later.
Thank you. Wait, what? Oh my, you know what I'm saying? I'm glad they stuck. Good parents, man, sticking for with their child, but return to sender, bro. I would put that back on the package and sent it right back to Amazon. But yeah, man, speaking of WWE action figures, does anybody remember the WWE ice creams that used to come out and used to have like Stone Cold Steve Austin or The Rock, and it had that soft outside? It was like so good. It had the vanilla in the middle. Or the lemon lime shots, man, that bring back memories. But anyways, this video is by Mr. Nightmare, so if you guys haven't already, be sure you zoom down to the description box, click on that link, go watch the video in entirety while we pause it and stop it and talking through the whole thing. Thank you guys so much, man. Let's keep going. We're moving in the right direction, man. 2,200 is right around the corner. Keep doing what you guys are doing. Also, Resident Evil 8 is around the corner as well, so be on the lookout for that. We will be playing it. Polls came back that you guys would like me to do a live stream, so I can do that for you guys. Hope you guys will be there to enjoy with me. But that's going to do it for this episode. But if you guys are new to the channel, my name is Reprisal Zems, and welcome to the Crow's Nest. But again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.